Hello, everyone, and welcome to Encounter Roleplay. We are here while Will is enjoying the Viking world of Iceland. We are going to continue on. And today we're playing the 7th episode of Beneath Dark Boughs with Matthias brooding somewhere off camera. But before we get in, let's go around to the cast and crew and introduce who we are and who we'll be playing today. I am, of course, the guest host and dungeon master, Jim Davis, and I will be playing the dark and sinister woods that the party finds themselves in right now. Starting over here, Pruitt, why don't you start us off?
Jim, as you know, but some of these people might not. I'm kidding. They all know. I'm Pruitt from WebDM. Yeah, it's always somebody's first time. I'm Pruitt from WebDM. I'm happy to be here, coming hot off the heels of Call of Cthulhu into the insanity that is Warhammer fantasy role-playing. I'm excited to get going here. I'll be playing Alero Bowsinger, everyone's favorite elf, the elfiest elf that ever elfed. And she got a unicorn last session just to prove it. So here we are. I'm ready to go, ready to put an arrow in something.
Excellent. It will be satisfying to see you put an arrow into something. Charlie, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. I'm kind of worried about where these arrows are going, but I'm good. I'm excited to be back with Yidris, and I am super personally in the mood to be flailing at things. So I'm really hoping that in Horno there is someone who needs to be swung at.
Someone
needs the
block knocked off.
Every time.
Only until he said it. Is it?
Yeah, only until he said it. The village's name. I'll take a minute. Apologies to Will for messing up the intro. Horno is the in character in setting name for the village. Horno. Now I understand on the map it might look like something else, and some people just can't contain themselves when they hear the word Horno, but that is an explanation for it. It's gonna be a great session today. Alice, how are you?
I'm great. I'm Alice, or White Rabbit Pick, and I play Nora, the dwarf bounty hunter. And after last week, I'm just really excited to get back into it. It was so good.
Hard same. And last but certainly not least, Garrett, how are you?
I mean, it's weird being like someone being nice to me. I'm not sure I like it properly. I think that says something more about me, and I've unlocked something in that I didn't want to admit to myself. But I'm incredibly good. I'm looking forward to a nice session without Will. We finally got rid of him. We're taking over, and this is a new, improved encounter roleplay.
We're taking over. The
revolution starts here, my brothers and sisters.
This is how
the cat's away
starts.
and the rat will play.
He's over there enjoying himself. Look at him, just on that Viking longship, just happy and on vacation.
Well, that's actually a live feed,
right? We'll teach him. We'll teach him to leave us alone with his stream. All right. So before we begin, we'll remind you guys that we are sponsored by Fantasy Grounds, which is our virtual tabletop of choice. And all the beautiful maps and roles that you see tonight are using Fantasy Grounds, which you can try for free at fantasygrounds.com. And finally, we get all of our miniatures from Wayland Games. So go to waylandgames.co.uk and get yourself a huge range of D&D, Warhammer, and 40K minis for 20% off. So go check out the sponsors. They really, they help keep the stream afloat. And I'm going to post their links here. There we go. And then finally, remind you guys how you can interact with today's game. If you haven't followed yet, hit the follow button and join us. When we hit 20 followers, you get a viewer decision and get to decide something that happens next in our game. You guys have been killing it with these viewer decisions all season, so I am very excited.
Mounts, animals,
everything. Mounts, animals, horrific deaths, crucified inquisitors, poor children that will end up getting killed. So the same goes for retweets. When we hit 20 retweets on this tweet, good to you guys. We hit 20 retweets on this tweet, we'll have another viewer decision. Although I am not sure that the retweets are popping up in the chat. And of course, you can donate to affect the game by giving players Nat 1s, Nat 20s, Wild Magic Surges, and worse. So I know that all of the players, they really love it when you guys mess with them and kill their animal companions and the like. So, that's always a great thing. So without any further ado, I'm going to hand it over to myself, and we are going to begin Beneath Dark Boughs. When we last sort of spent time with our characters last Friday, there was a bit of a falling out over a revelation that that a charcoal burner had sort of revealed to Matthias as you were standing over this particular charcoal burner's dying body. That resulted in a fallout between Matthias and Rat as they had a bit of a tiff, tussle, fisticuffs, and the party instead made their way from the ruined village of Obelheim to the very much intact village of Horno. They did so in silence, brooding silence, in fact. And as they arrived close to sundown with a detachment of road wardens that began setting up camp, went their separate ways, and that is where we left off. Although I believe the last thing that had happened is a one-eyed ogre and some more road wardens had come in. So here we go. Where we go? We've got a critical success to myself. Thank you very much, because infinite name choice. Not my name choice, but I did decide to really lean into it. And a wild magic surge for someone. Feel like Yidris doesn't have enough wild magic surges.
She can't see her own actual reflection, and she can't eat while she's healthy. I think she's good, but I mean, 1d10,000, right?
Yep.
Holy
right.
Oh, that is scarily low.
I don't know this table well enough to know if 132
low is normally bad. 132. You carry on, and I'll let you know.
This is where the responsibility of getting to choose who suffers the fate weighs heavily on me. And then we've we've got someone looking up what 132 is, and then we will get started. So that night.
Sorry, all items carried by the caster teleport into their home.
Oh shit.
All right.
It's a nice flower you've got there, Yidris.
Okay.
All my knives, my flail, the healing herbs.
Yeah. You'll wake up. Yidris goes to bed. Yidris will go to bed with her gear and I guess like a storage locker of stuff that y'all brought with you. But when you wake up, it's all gone.
Is my armor gone too? Because I would take that off. Honestly.
I don't think you carry that, do you? You wear it?
Wear it?
Because otherwise you're just nude.
I mean, she has clothes. But...
That's what armor is, right?
Well, I mean, it's all in the interpretation of carried by the caster. Like, physically at this moment? Or just, I mean...
I think perhaps everything that you normally have on you will disappear. Whether or not you keep some stuff in like a storage locker somewhere, I think that can stay. And you are in the middle of a big camp, and have a lot of money in your war chest. So it's not all. You just might have to re-equip. Yidris might have to re-equip herself later, because Yidris, indeed. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, Yidris wakes up and most of her gear, certainly the gear that she immediately took off and set down that evening, is gone. And we'll kind of like fast forward a bit. We had ended at an evening. I don't think anyone had actually gone into the village yet. Everybody was kind of staying outside. The road wardens were setting up camp immediately outside the village. More of them had arrived close to sundown. And we'll say that Matthias is off in a tent by himself. He's sent everyone away, and is, for the time being, not answering any summons or requests to join everyone, and just kind of like keeps everyone at arm's length for the time being. Waking up the next morning, Yidris, of course, discovers what she discovers. How about, what's everybody else doing on this this bright spring morning.
I imagine kind of Rat might be up early, and he'd just kind of be sat poking the remains of the campfire, kind of as it dies down, just kind of staring off into space, taking abreast of everything that's happened. And now over his one good eye, it's swollen and black where Matthias socked him one.
Right.
Alero will probably wake up and go feed and brush her new mount, Nisa, and she might join Rat there around the campfire. And Rat, you should just give Matthias time. He did not mean it.
There was a red mist over my eyes. I made a mistake. I'll be lucky if he ever speaks to me again, but I know if I try and talk to him now, it'll just make things worse.
Yes, it will, but he had a red mist over his eyes as well. Neither were seeing clearly, and this happens in war. You do things that you do not intend. Emotions can get the better of you, but just give it time. All will be okay again.
He nods. What have you decided to call your pointy horse thing?
Her name is Nisa. I think it is appropriate.
That's a nice name.
Yes.
I'm sorry about the other one. I know it doesn't mean a lot, but she was a good horse, and I could tell you'd have her very much.
Yes, I did. Thank you for your kind words. And Mutt as well. He was a loyal animal.
I don't want to think about that. What happened has happened, and
Yes.
we just need to get this thing done with. And it sounds like there's 3 witches out there that have got to pay a price for what they've taken from all of us. Have you ever heard of an elf witch before? That the charcoal person mentioned one of them might be an elf.
Yes, I have. I have spoken of her, if this is the same one. If it is, I will feel sorry for anyone who gets in my way.
Right, kind of understands more than ever exactly what you mean.
Yes.
If I'm in your way, just if you tell me, I'll let you take what you need. But
I will.
And he kind of just pats you on the shoulder as I'm guessing you're sat down, and he's kind of standing up to walk away. Understand that I'll help you get what you need, and we're all here to help each other. We may be in this shit, but we're not on our own. And he kind of gives a half
shit together.
Yeah,
and
like a bunch of fucking flies. And he wanders off.
She would have given him a pat on the hand at that before he departs. But she will just continue to, she'll get the fire like kind of started back up.
Yeah, it's like one of those, it's getting close. Actually, it is not too far from the spring equinox. It's about a week away from the spring equinox, which is, every one of you would know, is a huge festival throughout the empire, dedicated to Tal. So it's getting to be where the mornings are less chilly. You don't wake up with like little remnants of frost on you like you were a few weeks ago. It's much more of a pleasant morning. The ground is largely dried out. All the patches of snow underneath the trees have melted away, and it's otherwise a pleasant spring morning. The grass is growing, the flowers are in bloom, the trees are all pollinating, and everyone probably may or may not have some allergies. So we've got Alero starting up a fire and maybe getting that going. How about Nora and Yidris?
I think Nora probably would have got up early, probably not slept very well, and just wandered around the place just to get her bearings more than anything, and probably didn't approach Alero and Rat whilst they're having the conversation, but might have stood at a distance just to watch and see how the conversation went.
Yidris is just tearing her tent apart. She cannot work out how all of her things have magically disappeared. And she's like just working up that anger to go and find someone and just like resist the urge to put their face into the ground before she gets answers. But you can literally just see like this tent just bulges out the sides as she's like moving stuff around inside it.
So I guess you guys hear that coming out of her tent.
I walk over there and literally just pull back the thing. What are you doing?
Rat covers his eyes in case she's getting changed.
She's like stood there with like tiny bits of armor, like padding on, but there's like no armor. It's all gone. Someone has stolen everything, and she's just like horrified. She is like horrified, just
Nora's looking up and down. She's like, I don't know how someone could have snuck in and out of your tent at night. I don't understand. There's too many of us.
How does everything just disappear?
Have you checked the last place you left it? I sometimes have to do that.
I feel like she just like turns to Rat and like the glare in her eyes is like Mini Matthias just like ignited.
Rat, just
okay. What are you missing?
My leathers, my mail, my flail, my throwing knives, my daggers, the herb pouch.
Well, I'm pretty sure we would have heard someone come in and out, clattering around with all your gear. But who was on watch last night? And she sort of looks to everyone.
Well, you guys were sleeping in the middle of a... Yeah, you guys were sleeping in the middle of a road warden's encampment with like 47 road wardens. So there were many people on watch last night. Whether or not you guys were one of them, someone was on watch.
If anyone came near our tents, we could ask. I guess we could, go into town and.
Rat, you know about this sort of thing.
It wasn't me. I promise. He starts opening. I promise it wasn't me.
I believe what she is meaning is, about certain aspects of different cities and where maybe stolen goods would be taken to be sold.
Well, in a shithole like this, I imagine most things happen in the bar or the inn. That's where people tend to go. We can ask some questions. It certainly seems like we need some help, so we might be able to recruit a few people.
Rat, find me the shithole that has the shitter in that took my stuff.
I sort of pull a face at Rat, even just like Idris is mad, kind of look.
Okay,
and I'll shout to the nearest road warden.
Excuse me, can I have a sword, please?
One of them sort of, for a second, is like, but then sees who he's talking to. Yes, I believe Dankma has the quartermaster has swords and armor.
Yeah, good. Then you can go get one from him.
And I'll point to his sword.
Okay. He kind of like looks at you and this one, mine?
Yes, that one.
And I point to the witch hunter badge.
He like slips off. He's got like, it's on like a baldric, right? Hangs on his hip. He's kind of like takes the whole thing off and hands you, and it's like a cavalry saber, right? It's like, sword meant to be used from horseback.
Oh, that's nice. That's quite expensive. Do you need anything else?
Hey, is Yidris there?
Yeah, she's there. She's like fuming. She's just like, there's a vibration going on. She's had so much bad stuff to deal with, and now everything that was like hers, that was really hers, is gone.
Mm-hmm. He looks at you. If you need provisions, quartermaster will be happy to supply you. Keep the sword. And he tries to hurry off before any of his other stuff gets taken.
Just as he's walking off, Rat will be like, "They're some quite nice shoes," but more just to worry him.
Well, then
and Rat will kind of lug this sword over, which is like comically large, like him carrying.
At least that's something for you.
That's something. Thank you, Rat. Now I just need some armor and some knives, and then we'll take care of whoever is holding my items.
Wow.
Perhaps we should go see this quartermaster that he spoke of. Maybe they have a flail. It is not your. It is your preference, is it not?
That's right. I was rather fond of my flail, but I suppose a flail is a flail.
And I guess we head over to the quartermaster.
You guys find the quartermaster. He's with Captain Sigmund. The ogre is nearby, and it looks like there's a small group with the quartermaster and the other sergeants and lieutenant. They're talking, discussing something, and as they see you approach, they greet you. Good morning. Is there something that we can help you with?
Is it normal for those in your camp to steal from witch hunters?
Someone stole from you?
And she's like,
here?
Is Idris like naked right now?
She's got like an undershirt and some padding on, and like she's got a sock with like a hole in it, and it's not the best look. I think she managed to find like her witch hunter's pin, and she is like pins that shit right on there.
He's like, who would be foolish enough to steal from a witch hunter in a camp of ward wardens? And he turns to the ogre, and he's like, Lieutenant Hung, find if any one of ours did this, or if perhaps it was one of the villagers. Be gentle, bring them to us. And the ogre sort of grunts and walks away.
And you can just about hear you just say, yes, I would hate for that bones to be prematurely broken. That would be unfortunate. And she's like calculating loads of horrible ways in her head to punish this person.
Yes, the catalyst, the ogre's name is Lieutenant Hung, because I had to come up with an ogre's name. The rest of them, the captain and the three sergeants that are there, and the quartermaster, are, if there is someone who has taken your things, Idris, then we will find them. Until then, Denkmar here can assist you in finding suitable replacements.
Thank you. I'll need a flail and 5 throwing knives. And she's like listing out the things that were taken. She wants it all back. I think it's like a flail, 5 throwing knives, 2 daggers, knuckle duster, chainmail for her legs, leather for the rest of her.
Let's see what they have. They have everything but the flail. As that is a scarce item, and they did not bring any scarce items with them. They have they have like pole arms, like halberds and great big pole axes and things like that for when they fight dismounted. But nothing so ostentatious as a flail.
Yeah, she's gonna keep hold of that cavalry sword.
Okay.
She'll just get like a proper scabbard thing for it.
Okay. The cavalry sword is a hand weapon, but it also has the parrying property to it, which means it gets a bonus to parry.
Perfect, because I have special weapons group flail, parrying, and throwing.
Nice. Make sure.
Do they happen to have anything like super nice in the throwing department?
They have a large variety of daggers, and a blacksmith there as well who can modify, weapons if you want, like some really nice throwing daggers.
Yeah, Yidris is in a bad mood. She would like some really nice throwing daggers.
Okay.
She's picturing building a burning wheel, strapping the guy to it, having Rat blindfold, having Alero call out, and she's just going to throw knives at this burning wheel with a man strapped to it. This is her current vivid, happy place.
While Yidris is doing this, Alero's going to go around where Yidris slept and try to check to see if there's any tracks or any kind of evidence of, stuff being taken out.
Yeah, give me a follow trail roll.
I got it with 3 degrees of success.
And there's nothing around there. Y'all's tents, they have the road wardens. You find no tracks around where y'all's tents are, other than the perimeter that they've been patrolling. The only footprints you find around Yidris's tent are Yidris's.
Okay. If anybody would be willing to believe this, it would be Alero. She was going to go to Yidris. I am not certain you will find what you are looking for, Yidris. With the winds of chaos whipping as they have been over this whole mission, it could be dark magics that took your gear away. Perhaps these witches, knowing that we know about them, are trying to set us back. There are no tracks. Unless they used magic to get in and out unnoticed, I would have found something.
It's so much easier when it's just a person. It's everything magic in this place.
I do agree on that, Accord.
Can I use my sixth sense to see if I get the gut feeling there's been some magical hijinks, shenanigans?
Yeah, go ahead and roll your willpower. This is an easy task, so you get the let's see, I believe plus 10 bonus there, plus 20 bonus for easy task.
So that would be 3 degrees of success.
3 degrees of success. Yeah, you can sniff just the barest hints of magic around your tent.
Well, then I suppose the flail is gone. And this sword will do for now. And she is she's got the Matthias sulk going on now. It's official. Matthias sulk is in Thorin. But she'll de-hostile a tiny bit. There'll be less rage.
It sounds like you've got someone scared. They think they need to take the things off you to weaken you, but it's only gonna make you stronger. I still think we go into Horno and we see if there's any sign of magic there too.
I think you're right. We should definitely investigate.
On the walk-in, can I be keeping a special eye out for these, did you say blood cakes?
Yes, that's what they were called. Yep.
If I see any houses specifically with them outside, I kind of want to inquire a little bit further, just if we pass any.
Okay. As you guys, finish your morning routine and Yidris, it takes a while to get everything Yidris needs. Probably takes about an hour to get everything you need from the quartermaster, but they take the credit that Hex and Yager Krupp have given you all in the first session, and they take some of that as payment for the things that Yidris has borrowed or has bought from them. And let me see. While all that is going on, there is a portion of the camp is preparing to break away and go secure Obelheim Castle. It's about 15 of them are heading back just to make sure that nothing foul and nasty moves into it, and that line between Horno, Obelheim, and then further south to Leska stays open. So they're doing that. Everybody's ready to go into Horno's. I'm assuming everybody's going, or is anybody staying behind?
No. Yidris is definitely down to go into Horno.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll go as well. Can I I'll make sure that these guards, I'll instruct one of them that if anyone goes near the Hellblade and won't listen to orders, they should be executed.
Okay. The sergeant that's in charge of the platoon will appreciate you. He's like, thank you. I will keep people away from it and keep an eye out if anyone else has it. And then they go off. They ride off shortly after breakfast. The 15 of them plus some of the baggage and injured will.
And also, if there's like just a kind of a guard around camp or whatever, I'm gonna leave Nisa over where she is. I assume she just kind of does her own thing.
Pretty much, yeah. She really doesn't care to be stabled.
Yeah, that's what I figured, because I wanted to keep her right near the warden camp. But yeah, Alara's basically just gonna go over to whatever guard's on duty and just be like, just so you know, if anybody goes near my animal, they will never see the sunlight again. And then
they're
just
staying the hell away from a unicorn.
Walk away.
All right, I think Catalyst Creations, that was a magic weapon for Yidris and a pint of ice cream as well, I do believe.
Yeah, I see you, Catalyst. I see you.
Let me see. I was thinking of that, like let's say one of the weapons, or like let's say one of the weapons in the quartermasters, you're looking for, like, Yidris would be looking for like a magical flail. Is that what you're looking for?
I mean, that'd be really nice, but a sword is fine.
Let's see. I think perhaps one of the magic items that Yidris was looking at in the with the quartermaster perhaps was a bit more enchanted than they realized, and so Yidris will find that one of her replacement weapons that she's gotten is in fact magical.
What?
And that's going to give you at base a plus 10 to hit with it, and it perhaps has other properties that are yet undiscovered.
What if we make it that cavalry sword, and that's why that dude really didn't want to hand it over?
Sure,
but also, if you'd have told us it was magical, we would have been like, heretic! So, it was in his interest to hand it over.
It's entirely possible he didn't know as well. But the cavalry saber can be magical, yeah. So that's plus 10 to hit and parry, and it perhaps does some other things that you have not found yet. Awesome. So as you guys enter into Horno, the whole place has a festive and delightful kind of attitude. Everyone is wearing white and pastels with sort of garlands and crowns of flowers in their hair. Everyone's house has garlands of flowers and like sort of strewn around the windows and the door frames and hanging off the awnings. There is the Warhammer equivalent of a maypole set up in the middle of the village that they've got colored streamers and flowers and all sorts of things that they're decorating it with. And the whole place just has this happy, festive kind of quality to it as you walk in. Like, no one's doing any work that you see. They're all making preparations for something.
They have an army of... No,
sorry,
go ahead.
Okay,
it's going to be nicer.
Can I stop someone?
Yeah,
just one of the people.
Excuse me, can you tell me what all this shit is for?
He kind of gives you a quick look. Oh, it is preparations for Mittafrul, the spring festival. We honor the rebirth of Tal into the world after his brother Ulrich reigns over winter, and this is the height of Tal's power. We will be a week of festivities. It's our most joyous festival. And he looks around. You can see everybody's like, it's like a small village preparing for a week-long festival. Everybody's making decorations or preparing something to be eaten or drunk at the festival, that kind of thing.
Rat kind of nods.
Lots of TARDIS around here then. you'll follow yourself?
Of course, very devout. He is the Lord of the Field and Forests. We would be starving and ravaged by wolves if it were not for Tal.
Rat just kind of rolls his eyes a little bit. He's starting to get that Matthias disdain for other religions.
A resplendent offering.
Have you got a priest around here? Is there a priest that lives in Horno?
None of the priests live here. They travel from village to village, but they have all gone off to their lodges, and they will be there until the festival, preparing, cleansing themselves. Tal's gift.
Plotting, no doubt.
And we had a gift from Biohazard Rat. You get a mount, and apparently, if it can be a dog, there's plenty of dogs around here. There's several big dogs around.
Throw it in at some point, Jim. Throw it in. You don't have to give it now. Just when the story. Thank you very much for the donation. Awesome, but throw it in when it fits.
It'll fit. I'll find a place. Yeah. All right. So you're talking to this guy.
When is the festival?
Oh, the festival is not for another week or so, but it takes a long time to prepare. And you can see that he's making something. He's got several pairs of antlers, what looks like maybe like vines or twine or something. And he's making these garlands and things with them.
Do they look familiar to Alero? Does it look like the stuff that was around the charcoal burners area where they're like hanging up?
They don't have any like wicker figures or anything like that, but it would be easy enough to make one with the things that they have here.
Okay.
And is this something that would be celebrated in Barwell Keep or the other villages?
Oh, all of the villages will celebrate.
At the same time?
At the same time. I've never... And he sort of seems embarrassed for a minute. I've never traveled beyond my village, but I am told that the whole empire celebrates Tal's rebirth. And we will be united in celebration. And your characters know that, yeah, even in like big cities like Altdorf, this holiday is celebrated, although not with as much pomp and circumstances out here.
And I kind of lean in a little bit and said,
I've heard things have been a bit dangerous lately. Apparently we have to make blood cakes or something like that. Have you heard anything about that?
I'm obviously trying to lie. And do you want me to do a...
Give me a charm roll.
I don't have charm, so is it just based on fellowship?
It's half your fellowship, but you've kind of buttered this guy up. I'll make it a routine test. You get plus 10.
So that would be against half my fellowship. That's definitely a lie. Definitely a failure.
He kind of gives you a funny look for a second. Blood cakes? There would be cakes aplenty, but none with blood. And he sort of like gives you a weird look at that.
Of course not, mate. Of course not. Where's the inn then?
Points you over to the inn. It's just across the village square.
I kind of just has got no time left for him.
Okay, well, thank you for your time.
Yidris, I'm going to say it was a tiny bit late to this because she had to get all her new armor and stuff on, and just will be catching up.
Okay.
I think Nora's probably just standing rather silently, probably behind Rat rather than next to him, but even though they're both small, she feels she could maybe be more intimidating if anything goes wrong.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and Alero's just standing next to Nora.
Gotcha. I mean, you get the sense that everybody's still kind of standoffish, particularly towards the non-humans in the party. But they also they also seem to be more concerned about like that. They're just excited that this thing's happening. So like their normal xenophobic attitude is softened a bit, because they're just like, oh, we don't have to work and we're gonna drink a lot and make flower garlands. That's kind of the attitude that they have towards you.
As Rat's kind of walking away from him, if we need to, what town was this ruler guy in? Is it Barwell Keep? We know he's locked up himself.
Yeah, we know that's where he's hanging out.
Yeah, and now that it's daylight, you can actually see the keep. It's on a rocky promontory, further away to the north, but you can like see it in the distance. And it's a big wooden castle that sits on a big rock.
I'd imagine that if you're a Talis priest, you'd be quite busy during the Talis festival next week. If we're heading to Barwell Keep, that might be a good time to try and get in. Lots of people having a good time. They won't be expecting anything. Let's see if we can find anything else.
And unless anyone's got anything else out to do, I'm guessing we're going to head to the...
Yidris
go for
will just turn to Alera after what Rat has said, something like triggering in her mind, and she'll say, it's a reasonable time for the beastmen to make an attack. People all together in crowds.
This would be, yes. I think finding anyone who is preparing these cakes would be a way to start. It would at least be a name. We could get a name from them, maybe. I don't know. Finding one of these priests that is connected is paramount.
One of the three.
Well, I'm sure they have underling priests that work for them, maybe that come into the town and teach people how to make these cakes. I mean, they are connected probably. So, I don't know. But it bothers me to see everyone, and she's like looking around at all this jovial nature, like with the atmosphere that's over the land right now. Like, this is just like wrong.
Yeah, there was a slaughter just up the road in Oberheim like yesterday.
Yes, and
no,
just like
ago.
everybody's doopy doopy doo. So yes, Alero's just kind of like on complete edge and guard, and everyone is a tallest priest at this point.
Yeah, like the bad kind, not the good kind.
Yeah, the bad kind, yeah.
Yes. So you guys are in the middle of Orno as all this preparations going on. You're mostly being not ignored, but just, people are busy doing other things. What's y'all's next move?
Rat had in mind to go to the inn, but he's easily swayed if anyone wants to head anywhere else.
I think Nora was just up for sort of following around regardless. She's just sort of more protectively watching the others rather than actually thinking of what she wants to do herself.
Okay.
Is there like a central shrine type area, like that they've built some sort of large display? I know there was the maypole, but
yeah,
so like
there's a like all these villages, they have a ceremonial tree somewhere in the village that serves as a focal point for religious devotion. But from what you know about Tal's worship, it's not one that is centered around like structures or anything. It's, their religious ceremonies usually take place in fields or in like groves and things like that. There's a small shrine, but not like a church or a temple or anything.
Perhaps, Alera, we should make an offering to the tree and take note of who lingers there.
This could yield some information. Yes.
Yidris kind of doesn't want to go into the pub because she's feeling really antisocial right now because she just had all her stuff taken. So yeah, she's gonna go and head towards the tree and take some sort of food or something that she's got in her ration pack that she got from the quartermaster or something, and just go over to the tree and do an offering and let Rat continue his investigations.
Okay. How about Nora and Alero?
Nora will probably follow Rat into the inn.
And I think Alero would probably stick with Yidris. She thinks that's a good idea. She'll keep her eyes peeled.
Okay. So, Rat and Nora, the inn in this town is a lot like the other inns, in which there's one of these villagers that owns a tap room or something like that, and a couple of like benches and tables. They're not really like proper inns that you guys stayed at on the way here. This particular one goes by the name of Apfelbaum's Tap Room. And it consists of mostly a bunch of outdoor, like, picnic-style tables, and a couple of people carrying great big tankers and jugs around. And it looks like they've sort of set up just a drink station that people can come and get a cup if they want. And there are a lot of people sort of crowded around the entrance to it, just casually drinking and talking and laughing and just having a nice little mid-morning break.
Is there anyone that looks like they're working here? Anyone with like a apron on or anything like that? Sorry, is that typecasting the average?
No, I mean, these stereotypes exist in Warhammer. So yeah, there are two women with sort of aprons. There's a man who keeps coming in and out as well. But like I said, three of them that are wearing, not servant's garb, but they look like serving people.
No, do you remember in the crowd before where all the cheese was? And as soon as they hear we're talking about magic, they look guilty. Try and keep an eye on everyone. Look for anyone suspicious, okay?
Well, I will. And she just sort of crosses her arms and tries to just make herself look bigger.
I'm guessing they're all humans here, are they?
Yeah, you see a couple of halflings milling about, kind of mixed in with the crowd, but these places are not very cosmopolitan.
I'll walk up to the person with the apron.
Mm-hmm. The first one you see is a woman, sort of a young woman.
Is this your place?
Ah, yes, it is mine. Well, my father's and I work here.
Is your father around, or have you been here all day?
Oh no, he should be here. And she looks towards the inside of the inn, and he'll be out in just a moment. Is there something I can help you with?
Well, a friend, I thought I heard someone talking about selling some weapons, and you've not had anyone in here selling some weapons, have you?
Oh, I don't think so. They're very, other than hunting bows and the like, with very few weapons here.
Nah, this is a bit more specialist. Have you had a flail before?
Only the ones we use to thresh wheat.
Brad kind of nods, having no idea what she's talking about.
All right.
Can I look, like, is anyone around reacting to what we're saying, or our presence, or anything?
They're kind of like, they note your presence, and a couple of people that are maybe close enough to eavesdrop are kind of like, weapons, but they go back to their own small talk and the like, particularly once they see the witch hunter's badges. Most people don't want to get involved in anything witch hunter related, so they give you a wide berth.
And I'm guessing you're the center of this little barrow. There's people tend to gather around the place of drink. I'm guessing you hear lots of news.
Lots of news, yes.
You heard any tale of any magic?
Lots of stories and tales and the like. People get drunk and they all think they see things. They all think they know a a witch or something, but it's not. It's nothing serious. It's just drunk stories.
You don't think this is serious?
Is she like, oh no, I'm sorry. And she like sets down some of the empty drinks that she hadn't had. It's very serious. I just didn't. Is there a reason that you're here? I thought that we were fine and safe.
Nora puts a hand on Rat's shoulder and sort of just comes forward with it. I think what he's saying is stories don't come out of nowhere.
Oh.
What stories have you heard?
And she like, I don't want to say. It's, and she's like looking around at the crowds and everything.
Nora doesn't get that.
Come with me, please. And she leads you inside the inn.
Do I see anyone reacting to us going inside? Is there anyone that suddenly looks really awkward, or anyone that looks like they're scarpering?
There's no one that's like really staring you down. There are a few people that take note of it, but there's people coming and going inside of the tap room.
Yeah, I'm guessing it's quite busy. It would be difficult to see.
It is quite busy. Yeah. She takes you inside, and so this is like an entry hallway, and on the right side is where the tap room is. And it's full and it's bustling and the like. And then on the left-hand side is like a storeroom or maybe like their home or something. And she opens up the door to that portion of the inn and invites y'all inside. Let's see. We've got a crit for Yidris and a wild magic surge for young Ulrika, who is the barmaid here. I'll go ahead and roll that real quick. Unless somebody else wants to recruit, would you mind rolling that for me real quick? For the NPC?
You should be pretty used to doing them.
Yeah. And so she leads you in, and it is indeed like their living space that they have here. It's much quieter. There's no one around. It's hard to talk about, but there's always stories of people out in the woods and witches, but they always seem like stories. I never go off the path when I'm in the woods. I always stay with it, and I never see anything that I shouldn't. And she makes the sign of Sigmar, the hammer of Sigmar on her our chest. But they say that a witch lives north of Hohenrath.
Who says?
People just talk around the tap room. I don't take it seriously, but it's just I hear it. It's always the same.
And what sort of things are you hearing about this witch?
She looks at at Nora in an embarrassed kind of way. They say that she can help you if you're pregnant and you don't want to be, or if you're sick and the regular herbs don't work. You can go to her and someone will help you. She's like playing with the edge of her dress and kind of really clearly nervous around you.
Again, Nora does not sense this at all, but she sort of looks to Rat and sort of says, I think we should probably tell the others about this.
I believe we heard about this one before. The act of the midwife does things like this before. How many people have spoken about this?
And I kind of look to her.
Have you seen this woman before?
No, her face just goes like red, right? No, I haven't. I know that my mother saw her before she died. And she always told me, my mother did, that if I needed help and no one in the village could help me, she could. But that was a long time ago. Like I said, I don't wander the woods. I don't go off the path.
How did your mother die?
And she kind of like looks and seems she took a fever two winters ago, and there was nothing anyone could do.
Rat kind of just blinks at her with his good eye for a second and just kind of takes in what she said.
If you hear anything, we'll be back to talk to you. Make sure you remember who talks. Pay a particular listen for anyone mentioning an elf witch, a human witch, or a beast witch.
And he stares at her kind of deadly with his eye.
Mm-hmm.
Just anything that doesn't sound normal.
Yes. And it's close to this that as you guys are sort of ask her more questions, she or the door opens and the man who was in the apron sort of is like, Ulrika, where are you? And he sees that she's in here with the two of you, and he's like, is everything okay?
Yes, it's fine. I assume your daughter is headed back to work now.
Mm. And he's kind of like gives her a look of just like, is everything all right? Kind of concern, and then looks at the two of you. I am Meinhard, the owner of this tap room. Is there anything I can help you with?
I'm guessing you know what we are.
He nods grimly. I do. I hope that Ulrika's behaved herself, not disrespected my family.
Rat kind of holds back for a second, biting on his tongue.
Well, we'll see about that, won't we? Have you heard any talk of magic or witches?
There's always talk. No one has any proof, or when they do, it's figment or a misunderstanding.
What proof do they have or say they have?
Oh, there's always someone with a wart or a missing tooth or something that claims a witch cursed them. Someone with a broken cartwheel or a lame horse who thinks that they're the target of some magic chaos or something. And he kind of like laughs at it as if it's just
Rat kind of half joins in with the laugh, and he goes, "Yeah, or an ill wife."
He's like, "What's that? A new wife?"
Your wife.
This is not a laughing matter, sir. In fact, sit down.
He sits down near the hearth in here. Something wrong?
Your wife, she's dead, right?
Yes. 2 years now, this past winter.
How soon did she die after going to see a witch?
She never did such a thing. She was a good and kind and faithful woman. She would never see a witch.
Rat's gonna kind of pull off his eye patch in an attempt at intimidation.
All right.
You wouldn't lie to me, would you?
Okay. Yeah, let's go ahead and this is an easy roll. So you get plus 20 to that intimidate.
That would just pass.
Yep.
I would be on a 43. Yeah.
Yeah. He says, I would I would never lie to a witch hunter or one of their. He says it kind of like, as he says it, realizes how bad it sounds. One of their henchmen. We have only We have not been in Horno long. We came from further south. My brother asked me to take over the tap room, and I do not know the area very well, but we have been welcomed here, and we try not to stir things up or be a nuisance.
Rat will turn to Nora.
I don't think he's lying. I think it's his daughter that's lying, so we've only got to burn one of them.
I'll go get her. And I go to walk to try and intimidate in that way.
If he tries to stand up, Rat will pull his cloak away and show his pistol that Matthias gave him, which looks comically oversized on his belt.
Yeah, he's like, what's going on? Kind of. He stands up. It's like, we haven't done anything. What this is not. And he seems suitably both intimidated and panicked.
Well, I think we'd like to talk to your daughter a second time. And can I go get? Is she just the other side of the door, or is she gone back to serving?
I mean, if you look out, she's in the tap room, but she's her eye is on the door to the residence.
Okay, can Nora just open the door and literally be like, "Come here"?
Yeah, she comes back in,
and I sort of push her into the room and close the door behind her. I think you've got a little bit of explaining to do. I'm not really understanding what you're both saying. It's not really matching up.
Oh, what? We've been all truthful with you the whole time. We haven't. There's no secrets here.
I just sort of push her down into a chair so that she sits as well.
All right. So these two humans are now on eye level with both Nora and Rat. All right, you've got both of them here.
One of you says your wife, Thatch mother, went to a witch. The other one says otherwise.
And they both look at each other,
Yeah, Rat's kind of using the pistol, pointing at them when he's saying,
So which one of you is telling the truth?
There's a panicked moment, and Ulrika, the daughter, I don't think my father knows. I don't think he knows. And that's all that she... Mother
Why
never...
was this kept a secret? What did this witch do?
She did nothing. We bought herbs from her and poultices for injuries. She's no magic. She's just an old woman who lives in the woods.
Who you call a witch?
People call her a witch. I've never met her. My mother she said that if I needed something that they couldn't provide for me here, I should seek her out. And she, at this point, she seems absolutely beyond panicked.
he looks to the father.
This is what happens when you play with witchcraft. I have no doubt that this witch probably took your wife's life. Just as the witch helped take my eye, my dog, and everything I've ever held close. Now, you're gonna help us. We need to know if anyone, any priests, have tried to indoctrinate people, gather people together, mention blood cakes. We need everything. Otherwise, we have to mark your family as messing with witchcraft. And the punishments are very severe.
No, we've done nothing wrong. We will help in any way that we can. And they both seem like really just freaked out.
Names, please. Anyone of interest that we need to talk to.
Hildemar and Robin. They are the two who. They are the two priests who. We haven't seen them in some time. They come and they bless the fields and help with the birth of livestock, and that's it. We cannot tell you more because we rarely leave the village. But and the girl at this point kind of pipes up and says, my mother revealed another secret. She showed me the way.
Nora goes to stand behind her at this point.
She showed me the way to the hut one day.
How far away is it?
It would take us a day and a half to get there from here. But it is not hard. The road is easy.
I would
And
pack
why
the
did...
war. Ooh, sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go on.
No, you go first, honestly.
And is this the only time you visited the witch's house?
I know where the path is. I've never seen her.
But you've seen the house.
And she just I didn't know it was going to be. I didn't know. I'm sorry. And she just it seems like she's caught in a lie and doesn't know how to get out of it.
I would pack some walking shoes and enough food for 3 days travel.
She looks like just the blood drains from her face, and she's just and looks, and very timidly she starts to pack a bag. Meinhard, the innkeep there is are we safe?
A long way to bringing your family's name into better stead and hopefully clearing this mark off your family's name.
I hope so. I do not wish anything to happen to my daughters.
As long as she has no more secrets or ill intentions, she should be fine.
And he gives her just a stern and frightful look as she's packing up some loaves of bread and a wheel of cheese into a sack.
And rap really coldly or just say to them,
We'll also have 2 beers, please.
And he's yes, certainly. Rat's gone stone cold. While all this is going on, Valero and Yidris were going to visit the Talite shrine there in town. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you find it. It's an old tree, knurled and decorated with past seasons celebrations and decorations and things like that. As you get to it, there's a large sort of what you call them, a bowl of the tree with two massive roots kind of come in and create this sort of natural space there where someone has set up a small pile of rocks, like a small cairn, and you see there's wax from old candles, stains from stains from offerings that have been left for it before, and that's what you see.
So you're just actually gonna take like a candle out of her bag, and she's gonna light it and wedge it between those rocks. But she's gonna say a prayer for Sigmar to watch over this village and protect it from all the wild magic that's reaping chaos in all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And just like out of her peripheral and using that sixth sense, she's gonna just keep an awareness for anyone who just gives her that weird shiver down her spine.
Okay. So you're like waiting there for a while to kind of see who comes and goes.
Yeah, she'll just make it seem like she's making offering and
okay.
stuff.
How about Alero?
She's going to be doing like something similar, just like keeping a lookout, see who comes and goes. If it looks like anyone has baked any cakes recently, blood at the fingertips. I don't know. I don't know. Just looking to see who comes and goes.
Okay. Both of you make me a perception.
I feel like we're looking for the witch who built the gingerbread house. Like, who here smells of cakes?
Right.
Perception.
Throwing rocks today.
There you go. People come and go from the shrine. Most of them leave an offering of bread at the altar, like a small loaf or roll or something. Some of them bring like libation, like ale or beer or something that they pour out to the tree. Many of them light a candle or hang a garland of flowers or like an ornament of some kind in the lower branches of the tree. But you don't get a vibe or anything off of them. They all seem just like happy little villagers.
Happy little plebs.
Yeah. But while this is going on, Alero, you're sort of like taking in the scene and everything, and you notice though that there are wicker figures higher up in the tree. They look like the cross stick man kind of wicker figure that's hanging from some of the higher branches that are there.
I will casually point that out to Idris.
Okay.
They are around. They have left their mark. Perhaps we should look for these wicker figures around the houses.
Seems a reliable way of finding those who follow the superstition. And she's gonna like be eyeing that wicker figure so hard, like she really just wants to rip that thing down. But she's just gonna leave it because she doesn't want to cause a stir yet. And she'll stand up and dust off her knees and her new armor. Wander around the village then, Alero.
Okay.
Yep.
I figure like Nora and Rat they're in there a while talking to the innkeep and one of his daughters. So you guys have probably about an hour. It'll be lunchtime by the time they emerge from the Apfelbaum's tap room.
Okay.
You guys have like about an hour to kill in village.
Yidris figures if something goes wrong, she'll hear screaming, so she's not too worried.
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess we'll just be going around looking for either signs of people leaving out these blood cakes or the wicker men up in the trees above the houses or near the houses.
Any strange marks?
Mm-hmm.
Like, like protective
graffiti that says Sigmar sucks, like that kind of shit. Anybody's tagging? Anybody tagging around here?
There's lots of like little talismans and the like that people have and hang up around here. I don't know what you'd call them. Like, some people in some parts of the world have like the evil eye that they sort of like hang up to ward off the evil eye.
Wards.
There's stuff like that. Like sort of folk
Wards and
magic.
fetishes.
Yeah, fetishes. That's what I was looking for. Yeah, things like that. You see that, but you've seen that in Badau. You saw it in Obelheim before the attack. It's pretty common, that sort of folk
anyone
magic.
Like fetishes are us, where they got like wind chimes that are made out of them. They've got a rug that says "Tread not here, evil."
Let's see. There is, there's some people on sort of the outskirts of the village who spend less of their time like in village and more out in the woods that have more of that than usual. Like people that make their homes on the outside of the walls.
Mm-hmm.
So all the gates are open, this afternoon. People are coming and going. And if you're just walking around the village grounds, both inside and out, you will find like tanners and huntsmen who make their home on the outside of the village, who have much more chimes and votive figures and fetishes and talismans and the like around their abodes. Thoughts? Someone thinks he gears turning.
Yeah. I think Idris is gonna collect, like, the next time she sees like a person near where one of these fetishes is hung or where there's a sign, she'll like take up the item and she'll turn to the person. What is this? I've seen them all around the village. And she's gonna play dumb, like she has no idea what this thing is or why it would be come up.
Yeah, there's a guy like stretching out hides on a rack and sort of like going about. Looks like probably a tanner or a leather worker of some kind. The smell is quite pungent, and he just kind of like looks back at you and is like, "Oh, those are keep evil magics at bay."
Evil magics? How are they supposed to work? And she'll turn it over in her hand.
Mm-hmm. He stops what he's doing and comes over to you, and they do not know how they work, only that they keep my dreams free of nightmares and my abode safe from the creatures of the forest.
And where did you learn these things? To put up these fetishes?
My mother taught me, and her mother before her. And let's see real quick. I feel like another perception test is in order from you guys. This time, you know what you're looking for. 93 is bad. I was gonna say it's a very easy test because you know what you're looking for, so it's plus 30. But that's still 93 for Idris.
She's cursed by these fetishes, I tell you.
Right. On a tree stump about 20 yards away from the yard that the tanner has set up here, Alero, you can see a tree stump with a plate and a ceramic mug on it.
Idris, look, and she'll point it out to her, kind of away from the tanner.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any like business or anything out near that tree?
There's nothing out there. It's just a tree stump out in the middle of the woods.
Okay.
That's a crit fail for Charlie. I'm afraid.
That's a crit fail for
thank you for your support, though. Thank you for not making it me.
Now everybody has a crit fail.
Yeah.
That's just making it fair. So I think Idris wasn't looking because she was really just focused on the fetish that's in her hand. And I think she'll glance where Lara is kind of pointed out, but she'll turn back to the tanner and she'll ask, what of the evil in the woods? Surely it's not just nightmares that keep hanging these fetishes up.
Not just nightmares. There are goblins and worse that live out there. Great wolves will eat you alive. Beasts that walk like men. Although they do not make themselves known very often.
You've seen these?
If you're out there, you'll see them. Indeed.
And have they ever assailed you?
Yeah. No. Very rare to see them. But whatever they do out there, leave us alone.
She'll give it back to the fetish.
He hangs it back up. Is that why you are here, Witch Hunter? Wish to question me about what goes on in the woods?
Has word not reached here of what happened at Oberheim just a week ago?
I've not heard word from Oberheim in several weeks.
Kind of share a look with Yidris at that. Not say anything out loud, though.
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for your time, Tanner.
Yes.
Indeed, Witch
Sigmar,
Hunter.
watch over you.
And he makes the hammer sign on his chest as well.
May he light
luck.
your way.
In your hunt. And he goes back to what's that?
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say he goes back to doing his tanner business.
So it appears that the Markgraf has not told the people here of the word we sent a week ago. No one knows of the tragedy that has befallen Opelheim.
Would appear not. The man appeared mostly honest. He admitted the beasts that walked in the woods. That is more than many we've come across.
Yes. But why would the Lord not prepare his people?
I suppose the Lord would have to then prepare himself. Now, what is it that you've seen? And she's gonna look around and check out.
Over on the tree, the mug.
Another offering. It appears a long-held superstition, but one that seems to work, which is all the more bizarre.
Are y'all like going over to the tree stump?
Yeah.
You're just
go
gonna
look
start
at
looking
it.
over there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an unleavened cake, just like a simple,
Like a
water and
like a scone
flour.
or something.
Yeah, more like a scone. And just a full to the brim pint of ale.
Alero is going to look. How long does it look like this has been out here? Is the cake molded or is it old?
It's not fresh, but it doesn't look molded or anything.
Just a bit dried out.
Yeah, it's been out here for a while, but there's like no ants on it or anything like that yet.
And is this a well-traveled area?
No, this is you guys are like from where you are right now, where the offering is laid. You can't even see the walls of the village for the trees, and there is a it's not really well traveled at all. There's a little trail that leads from the hut where you were at out here, but you're just in the woods.
We're in like a little copsey area.
Alero is going to see if she can pick up a trail, like see who left this out here.
Okay.
Oh my god. Roll a 3. 3 degrees of success.
Yeah.
The dice gods have favored me today.
Right. It leads back to the tanner's hut. That's the only track that you find.
Looking around and inspecting this area further, is there any... I don't know, is it like, are there lots of magical healy herbs growing here mysteriously? Is there like some sort of feeling that this could be some sort of nebulous or something that I could somehow derive from looking around at the woods?
Like, is this a place of magical significance, you think?
Yeah, like she's trying to like figure that out, if this is just, someone is making offerings in weird places, or if there's a more significant heresy reason for what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
Because you wouldn't want to put the offering next to your house. You'd want to move it slightly away. You don't want the beastman coming all the way up to your front door. So she can kind of see that logic.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But is there a reason why this stump?
It's about 20 yards away, and the hut is.
Yeah.
You can kind of see it through the trees, but it's not readily visible. Looking around, there's nothing that strikes you as significant about the place that it's in. There's no like arrangement of trees that would suggest a magical significance or particular type of plant or anything. It just seems like a small clearing that someone cut down a medium-sized tree for. So it's getting to be about lunchtime for everyone. Are y'all staying out here in the woods, or y'all doing something else?
Alero just wants to go back to the tanner one more moment and just ask him, did your mother teach you to make the blood cakes that we have seen around? Is that a common tradition?
Blood cakes? No. You mean the
any
cake by the stump?
Yeah, she points to that.
Oh. He looks she knew how, but everyone here knows.
Everyone?
An offering for the water spirits, the like. Keep them away from the villages.
Okay, thank you for your time. Sorry to bother you.
He's like, yeah, he just gives you a nod, like no big deal, you know. So it is around this time. Go ahead, finish up, Alero.
No, I was just gonna say Alero rejoins Yidris, and that's it.
Okay. So it is about this time that Ulrika has finished packing her bag, and Nora and Rat, I guess, are accompanying her. Okay.
Yeah,
Probably
we're following
marching her
behind her.
out.
Okay. There is a so at some point y'all meet back up, right? And Nora and Rat have this relatively young woman with them, one of the barmaids at the tap room.
I look at the Alero and meet Yidris. They'll be coming with us on our trip.
A trip, Rat?
Ulrika's family here have visited previously a witch who lives about a day and a half travel from here. And luckily for her family, Ulrika knows where this witch lives. And of course, wanting to help us as much as she can, she has hastily agreed to take us to this place.
Yidris is gonna look at Nora like, what is Rat talking about? We've already gone for like an hour and a half. How has he found a witch?
Nora's just sort of like nodding wide-eyed, as in like she doesn't want to dishearten like Rat's confidence since the fight with Matthias, but is just almost just like agree that's where we're going.
Well, I'm sure Matthias would be proud that you have rooted out a witch. We should check it out.
Right, quick. This has nothing to do with Matthias. This is about what we need to do.
It's everything to do with Matthias, but he's quickly denying it.
Of course, Rat. Of course.
I'm not crying. You're crying.
Apparently, the path there is safe and clear. But are you guys ready?
We should send word to Matthias. And she's
Yes,
like,
we'll leave it.
just ignoring Rat. She knows that this is nothing to do with him, but she needs to get word to Matthias that we're going walkabout.
Okay. So someone's going to go inform Matthias.
Leave a note.
Leave a note. Yeah, he doesn't answer or anything, so a note is appropriate.
Yeah, Yidris volunteers Alero as tribute since they're new best friends who keep secrets.
Right?
See a triangle forming.
So yeah, there you go. Do you guys secure mounts or anything? Or y'all going on foot? Ulrika is confident she can lead you there, but she's only ever walked there, and it was a day and a half.
Is the path clear enough for horses, Ulrika?
It is. The main road to Hohenrath is wide enough for a cart, and from there, the horses might have some trouble, but the path leading to the midwife is. The horses will make it.
Yeah, and you'll turn around and Alero's already up on her unicorn, ready to go.
I'm guessing when we're dropping the note off from Matthias, we can requisition some horses from there.
Yeah,
Nora
they've got
is
some
not
horses.
happy
Some
about
horses.
being on a horse.
Nora doesn't like being on a horse.
She is not happy about it, but she will do it if everyone else is. But she's
Does Nora
sort of
want to
doing
ride
it
with Yidris?
She would probably prefer that, and
Okay,
you can
that's fine.
see it's not like a fear, but she is not enjoying
Yeah.
the
She's just
height
not
off
into
the
it.
ground and just the general of being on this animal.
Alero, can you ride with Ulrika so she doesn't get lost?
Yes, she may ride with me, and I will extend a hand to help up Ulrika.
Okay. She's like thrilled to be on a unicorn.
Nisa, Ulrika, Nisa.
It sort of unfurls its lustrous and luminous mane. It's like in a Estee Lauder commercial.
Maybe she's born with it. Maybe she's a unicorn.
Maybe she's a unicorn. You set off along the road through the forest, and with all of you mounted, this is a much quicker journey. And it's not too far as you head north that you pass by Berwald Castle, Berwald Keep. And like I said, from the distance, it's a rather large timber castle that's clearly part of it is like new construction and part of it's sort of older, that has a very commanding view of the valley that's between these two hills. But there's a road that sort of like spurs off. You don't have to go anywhere near it. You just kind of like pass underneath it and up the road northeast to Hohenrath, where it's going to take you, let's see, it's going to take you about 3 hours to get to Hohenrath. So you have this like midday sort of nice light ride through the forest where sunlight filters in aplenty and the shadows that are normally underneath the trees here are dispelled. And for a few hours, there is a sense of sort of serenity and calm as you pass through the woods. Birds chirping, little critters running around the underbrush. You see a couple of deer darting and prancing through the glades, through the trees.
We have Alero, the elven maiden, with the barmaid on her horse. Dappled sunlight.
It's just like right out of a schlocky 80s, romantic fantasy.
And then you've got Yidris and the grumpy dwarf.
Nora is clinging on for dear life. She's like squeezing around like Idris's waist, but trying not to look down.
And they've both got like great big weapons attached to them.
Yeah.
And then there's Rat on like a fat pony or something.
Just a little Shetland pony.
Yep. Just a pony. Yeah, that's perfect. Absolutely perfect. As you ride through the forest, you of course pass other people walking around. Every villager that you pass here is white with sort of like a pastel sash or vest or something, garland of flowers, around their neck. They're just sort of like all seem to be caught up in the spring festival here. And in about 3 hours, you make it to Hohenroth, which is literally like you're like in like thick woods, right? Like it's just like undergrowth and multiple canopies of trees, and it's just absolutely in the middle of it. And then the trees sort of part abruptly, and there's a clearing where the village of Hohenroth is, and it's sort of, there's a large crescent-shaped field that kind of hugs the southern wall of the village, but it's otherwise a rather small, this place is even smaller than Horno in terms of like population size. You'd guess there's maybe less than 50. Yeah, it's just a tiny little hamlet. Less than 50 people probably live here. But their gates are open, and they are preparing for the same festival that the people of Horno are, and presumably the other villages here. And that is what you see as you enter into Hohenroth.
As we pass through the woods, did we see any like fetishes like hiding from the trees on our path or anything like that?
Yeah, you guys pass several small shrines similar to the one that the ones that are in the villages, sort of like old trees, or it seems as though you and Ash are particularly the focal point for some of these shrines. And so you'll see like a makeshift stone that's been moved to nestle in the base of the tree, candle wax, old food, that kind of thing. You passed several of those, and they do have figures in them.
I might suggest, not that I'm scared, but we may be better to go somewhat incognito. We do stick out a little bit, but and Rat will kind of take the Witch Hunter's badge and pin it on the inside of his cloak, so it's not really obvious. We're still a bit of an odd gang.
I don't know what you mean, Rat. Says Charlie. Yidra says nothing, and she'll just pull her badge off and look it away.
We do have a wild magic surge for Nora, though.
God.
Why are you going to chuck up this
throw
time?
up this week.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Horseshoes. There's 4 horseshoes.
The 4 horseshoes of apocalypse.
Yeah.
Oh god, that's a high one.
Ooh, 9826. Somebody looking that one up?
Yeah, I'm on it.
All right. So you get to Hohenroth. What's that?
Random creature nearby resurrects immediately upon death.
Well, that would have been handy last week.
That would have been really handy last. Okay. Well,
Wait,
just keep
if
that
a
in
bear
mind.
dies in a wood, does it resurrect? Is this the new?
Does the bear resurrect in the woods? Yeah.
I'm just glad I'm not throwing it up, so that's fine.
Next thing that dies nearby, Nora throws up.
Yeah, Nora will vomit them back up alive.
Yeah. Oh no.
Okay, so we'll just keep that in mind. The next nearest random creature to die, resurrect.
So if a squirrel just falls out the tree,
It says a random creature nearby.
Heresy.
Random creature nearby.
So just use that to your discretion. Chuck it in whenever you want.
Yep. All right, let me write that. There we go. I'll make a note of it. As you pass through Hohenroth, you don't, first off, they get like visitors never. So Witch Hunter badge or no, an elf, a dwarf, a halfling, and a human, 2 humans riding into town is a noteworthy experience for them. But they do not, it's not like they don't like rush over to greet you or anything. Most of them are just sort of like give you a look of what in the world are you doing here? That, a look that says, we'll tolerate you for now, but leave soon. That's the look you get.
We have apparently walked into Yorkshire.
Yeah. Lara will quietly say to Ulrika, Where is this witch's house? We should not linger for long.
No, there's a path to the north, a hunter's trail. We can take that one. And she leads you through the village, and it's like you could blink and be done with it. And you pass through the north gate that's there, and indeed there's a small path, like a game trail of some kind that leads north. Your horses can navigate it. Nessa has no problem with the brambles and everything. She shouldn't seem to get anything caught in her mane or tail or anything like that either. But for everyone on like a regular horse, like a non-magic animal, it's slower going than normal. But Ulrika was right. There's a trail there, and it's getting close to sundown. So you can either push on ahead or make camp in the wild.
Okay, I'm just going to throw this out, Jim. So there is a newer table.
Oh, is there?
So I'll let you pick. The complete skeleton of a huge red dragon tumbles from the sky.
Jeez.
So just use whichever one you want.
I like the rezzing one just because it hangs there and we can use it later. Jeez, a huge red dragon skeleton.
Feel free to throw that.
So I'll get dragon bone armor and weapons.
Yeah.
That's if it doesn't hit us.
Right, assuming it doesn't, you're not impaled on a rib or something like that. I like the random nearby creature reses upon death, as that sounds like it could be really, really
Sounds
bad.
like chaotic magic to me.
Yeah. So, yeah. So the question I have is: you think Ulrika's? We could make it by nightfall. I think. So you have a choice. You can press on and make it to her cabin by nightfall, or camp out here, or I guess if you want to try to seek lodgings in Hohenrath.
We will not be welcome in Hohenrath. I do not want to stay in these woods. I vote that we push on to the cabin.
Somewhere.
I vote that we push to the cabin.
I agree.
I agree.
Best to not have it be a wasted journey. We're having someone from the village warn the witch that we approach.
Yes, that is wise. To the witch!
To the witch!
That's what comes up on like the cutscene cards. Like,
the witch in a hat goes in and out.
The shadows lengthen as twilight falls across the valley here, and your horses and Unicorn make it up the game trail, and you can start to see like fires burning through the trees right as it's getting like really dark, like not helpful kind of light anymore. You can see that there are fires up ahead.
Like multiple fires?
Yes, at least two.
How far ahead would you say?
I'd say it's about 50 yards ahead, maybe through that you can just see occasionally as the game trail twists and turns, you get little gaps in the trees. You can see the fire.
As experts in fire, does this look like cooking fires or like pyre fires or?
They're small fires, like campfire.
Lero, me and you could scout ahead and see what's going on.
Yes. Let us do this. And she slides off of Nisa, gives her a pat, be like, "Stay here, girl," and start moving towards in that direction.
Okay.
Do you want the right or the left?
Rat is missing his right eye, so he'll take the left.
Okay. Rat's left and Alero's right, and just kind of move up silently and in the shadows.
Okay.
Go ahead and pull the
let's have
horn bone off of my back.
Okay, let's have some silent move and concealment rolls for whoever's trying to sneak up ahead.
Are these just standard rolls?
Actually, for the concealment, you're going to get a plus 30 because it is the undergrowth here is so considerable.
I got -2 then.
Oh no!
No, that's good.
Oh, that's good. I looked and I saw something different. Okay.
And you want silent move as well.
If you guys are trying to move as well, yeah.
I think Idris will just help Nora down off the horse so that if Nora needs to be mobile, she's more mobile. And Idris will just stay with the horses.
Okay.
Alera
Nora was
melts
going to
into
say
the
she
woods.
probably... Yeah, Nora would probably prefer to be on foot anyway. So
Okay.
even if she gets off the horse very unelegantly, more of a fall off, I think.
Yeah, Ulrika is like trembling with fright as she gets down off the unicorn. Good grief. Yes. It's like, geez. 5 degrees of success for concealment, 4 degrees of success for silent move for Rat, 4 and 3 for... Yeah, you guys like... No, Alero and Rat, you don't know... You like blink and they're gone. They're like Batman out of there, right?
Yes.
Hail it. And...
God damn it. Rat. Fuck.
And then, so there's as you're walking through, you can tell that there's more like 3 fires. They're small-ish. They're not like big burning pyres or anything like that. But you're confident that you're quiet as you can be as you walk up through here. Now, give me an idea, both Rat and Alero, of how you approach the fires.
Well, gonna kind of move off of the trail, but still, in the undergrowth, and try to move as close as I can while still, obviously maintaining cover. Just listening for anything, like looking for anyone sleeping around the fires.
Let's see.
That sort of thing.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
pretty much identical for me. Just staying in the cover, getting as close, looking for any kind of movement, trying to assess numbers or races or anything like that.
Both of you are about halfway there where you can see a shadow pass between you and the fire. Like a person-sized shadow pass in front of the fire.
Just one?
Just one.
Which fire is that? Is that because, like, one of us on the left? Do we see which way? So is it walking towards me or is it walking towards Larry?
Let's find out. Who wants odds?
I'll take odds.
I'll have
Odds or
odds.
evens? Rattle take odds. I think it's Alero.
Okay.
It's Alero's fire. Wild magic surge for Alero.
There it is.
There it is.
Right, I'll use the updated chart this time.
All right.
2372.
I'll do that if you want to carry on, Jim.
Okay, thanks. So you guys are about halfway there when you see this. Where is the thing? Yeah, and it is dark underneath here. Like everyone, I think, all of the non-humans have night vision, but that does require some sort of ambient light. So while it helps you underneath the canopy and the underbrush, it's still really dark, and your night vision only makes it so that you can kind of see instead of being completely blind. Do we have a? Let's see.
And it's in the chat. Have fun working that one out.
Okay.
So can we push on? Do you want another movement roll to move further?
No, you don't need to make another movement roll. I just want to know if you did anything different now that you've seen one of them pass in front of the fire. So the Wild Magic Surge was caster's spellbook is invisible if their hair is wet. Or unless the hair is wet. Invisible unless the hair was wet. We smashed your mask up, which was what your spellbook was last time. We'll have to think about this for a bit.
It'd be hilarious if it was a unicorn, because then Alara has to go on there like all like mermaid every time to see where her damn unicorn is.
Or I roll around like fucking Wonder Woman with my invisible.
Yeah. Invisible unicorn.
Oh, that's a good suggestion.
Yeah.
The mask comes back every time Alara gets wet.
I like that.
Phrasing.
Like the mask. Yes. I like the mask. I like the mask returning because you guys smashed it up really good, and I think the mask is going to come back somehow.
Okay.
Oh, is Alara's face glowing because it's dark?
It is glowing.
Yes.
Yes.
The wild magic around you, elf.
So Rat is sneaking closer to the hut, and Alero is.
Yeah, I'm gonna move further. Like instead of closer to the hut, I'm gonna kind of move more around away from the trail, kind of to try to get a better angle on whatever this is.
Okay.
But I firmly have my bow out and hands on the string.
Okay. You guys are about 10 yards away when a voice calls out. There's no sense hiding out there, Alero and Rat. You should come join by the fire. I've been waiting for you. The others are welcome. But do hurry. It'll be very dark soon. You're not sure. It's a woman's voice. Older.
Rat speaks back. Sorry, could you repeat that?
You can see a figure silhouetted against the firelight. A woman, a womanly figure silhouetted against the firelight. Aye, you should come and get out of the woods before it gets too dark, Rat. Please.
Rat will step up. It's just me. There's no one else here.
There's no sense lying. I know Alero's out there. And the others. Yidris and Nora. Rulrika. 5 of you.
Okay, Alero steps out of the woods, but she has an arrow drawn and is pointing it at this person.
Okay. You see
This is witchcraft.
Yeah, you see an older woman dressed in simple homespun clothes, an apron over her, covering them. She has a stout staff that looks more like a walking stick than a weapon. And around her neck is a talisman that is just like a tight spiral that hangs from a hemp cord around her neck. She also wears a garland of flowers in her hair, and there are you can see now that as you kind of step out that the hut that she's standing in front of, where there's several fires burning around it, is also decorated with flowers and the like. If you're going to shoot, you should do it now.
Give me a reason why I should not bury this arrow in your chest and you in the ground.
Because you have no idea what you face. And I am the only one who can help you.
I am still listening.
Rat will just pause. Tell me my dog's name.
Mullet was a good friend of yours, was he not?
Rat will kind of lower his weapon.
Alero, I think we should listen.
She knows things that she couldn't, things that she shouldn't.
Nora Yidris can make me a perception test based on hearing if you have any talents that affect that. Sorry, Lyra.
You good?
Yep.
Ooh.
Nora hears
Ooh, Nora.
the 2 times that
I'm
she
like
called
Daredevil.
out. You hear it. Right. Actually, Yidris too. Wow. Yeah, both of you hear the first time she calls out. Exactly what she said.
Nora straight away will get her back up and draw her axe and just stride quickly through the woods, like leaving the girl and everything towards Alero and Rat and this voice.
Okay. Yidris hops off of her horse and then she goes and drags Orica down off of Nisa and is just going to drag the girl through the woods after her.
Okay.
Go see this witch.
All right. So Yidris and Nora and Ulrika eventually walk out of the woods and join Alero and Rat. And she has not made any threatening moves. She's really not moved at all. I'm assuming Alero is still pointing an arrow at her. Still got a drawn bow at her.
Alero has not. Blood is dripping off of her draw hand, and she's just steady, just like pointing. But she isn't moving either.
Okay.
I think Nora would stand slightly ahead of Rat and Alero. Tell me how you know our names and so much about us, and we know nothing about you.
The mother told me. She knows all things, especially those that happen underneath her woods. I've tried to make contact before, but it was unsuccessful. So instead I waited. I knew you would come.
The mother?
Aye. The mother who gives us all life. The mother who provides us the bounty that we enjoy. And she kind of like looks around and particularly to Ulrika and Yidris. You might know her as Raya. And all of you being citizens of the Empire know that Raya is sort of Tal's wife and queen.
This woman, she can tell things. She knows that even though I load my dagger, my hand is on my pistol ready to shoot her. Yet she doesn't move. I think we should listen first.
I am still listening.
Tell us your name.
My name is Ermelinda. And I am a daughter of Raya.
Is that a respected, protected group that we shouldn't ban?
It is a...
From Charlie to Jim.
Yeah, yes. I mean, you know that there are two main sort of goddesses of like healing and hospitality, where there's Shalea, which is the nuns to her sort of run like insane asylums and hospitals and things like that. And then there is Raya, who they often act as midwives, counselors, and the like. They might be present for a birth, both in a physical and spiritual sense. Raya is a recognized deity in the Empire, and is closely associated with Tal. Alero, I think that it will take a great deal to convince you, but
if you know
if I admit
all
you
of...
harm,
Yes.
if I admit you harm, then you would know it. These have been my home, and I have defended it for a long time against things far worse than a group of witch hunters.
If you know so much about me, then you know why I am so hesitant to lower this bow.
I know that you seek Khalifa.
Where is she?
She is here. Do you not feel her presence?
Yes, I have felt her presence for 40 years. She is there when I sleep. It's the first thing I see when I wake. Tell me where she is.
She has drawn you here. Alero. She's drawn all of you here. And Ermelinda sets her staff down, like props it up against the door frame. Please, it is getting dark. It is past supper. And you can see that there is a place setting on a small table outside with empty bowls for all of you.
I point to Erica. If we let her go, we should make it to the next town safely.
Not in these woods tonight, no. She should stay here. Leave in the morning. All of you should stay here and leave in the morning.
What walks these woods tonight?
You know what walks these woods. You know, and you have only seen the least of them.
Who hides what walks in these woods?
There is another witch. She has performed a great weaving of magic that hides her presence. She commands the Bray Herd.
Nora is just stood there awkwardly, sort of looking at the others. She's still full of absolute distrust, but is currently in a situation where she can't make a move.
Okay.
What of all the brands? Has chaos touched him as well?
It's difficult to see. A great fog clouds my vision. But there are members of the Talite Order that cannot be trusted, and I do not know which ones are trustworthy and which ones have fallen to the influence of chaos.
Rat
Do
kind
we
of
not burn them all?
That is a rather extreme solution, do you not think, Alero?
I would burn this entire forest down if it meant bringing down my prey.
I hope that it does not come to that.
Rat will turn to the kind of group.
You must have seen. I'm not myself since what happened.
Yes.
So this is kind of to the group rather than her.
You know that there's a fire in me that I need to do. I need to make things right. And I know every one of you have that fire as well. But everything inside me is telling me to listen. I need to go inside. And I really hope that you can come with me.
Well, we're not letting you go in there on your own. And she won't, put... Go on.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
She won't put her weapon away. She will just walk up behind Rat and wait to follow him.
Okay. And Rat will kind of silently give her the signal that he's ready to listen, because he'll actually let go of the pistol underneath his cloak, and he will walk in the hut.
Okay. Yeah, you
Alero
pass
will.
Go ahead,
I
Alero.
was just gonna say, Alero will very slowly ease the tension out of the bow and let the arrow fall away into nothingness. But she keeps her bow in hand.
Yidris is not going in that hut. Yidris is staying the hell outside.
Okay.
And then Alero will give a whistle for Nisa to come closer.
Okay. Nisa comes closer. She sort of appears out of the woods.
Yeah, just as long as she's near the fire and not out in the woods by herself.
Okay.
Is Alero still... is Yidris still just standing firm outside?
She'll move up to nearer to the fire because she doesn't have good sight in the dark, but she's not going up in the house.
Not going up in the house.
Like, she's conceding so far as she hasn't just killed this woman where she stood or tried, but she just cannot cross that threshold. That is... No.
So I think we do have a viewer decision. I think maybe the retweets have been a little wonky.
Yeah, they're all good for you.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a part of me that wants to know what stalks these woods at night. I think that might be the viewer decision.
Well, guys, if you stick those in chat, I'll put them in a straw poll.
You'll in the chat. Okay.
And if we get another 2 followers, that'll be another viewer decision. Just a tiny, invite should you want to add to the chaos. That's
should you want to. There are so Yidris is staying outside. Rat is preparing to enter the hut. Nora is going to follow Rat, and Alero is
she will follow Rat and Nora, but she will just stand like in the doorway of the hut, not fully going in. But I didn't see what that was.
It's just a follower, a new follower.
Oh, okay.
No, nothing. No wild magic searches.
I'm all PTSD'd out. I see that pop up. I'm like, shit.
No.
Let me roll again.
Let's see here, real quick. All right. Rat passes by a cauldron of just the most delicious rabbit stew that you've smelled, and it's just sort of like cooking out there on a small open air hearth. Ermelinda is sitting down and kind of eating as you guys make your decision. And there's like a big loaf of bread that she breaks a piece off of, and she's like, I understand that you might not trust me, but the food is good, fresh prepared, and it will be a long night if you cannot relax. Matthias stalks the woods.
Matthias in his cart rolls it over. He's like, heretics.
What? Yeah. He's Owner of Will is itching somewhere. His ears are burning in Iceland. All right. So, Rat. What is Rat doing?
I'm juggling. Yeah.
Oh, you're juggling all this. I'll let you do that then. Rat is entering Okay.
How flammable does this hut look? Just for curiosity's sake.
It's weird. The hut is mostly like, it's got a turf roof that is growing things at the moment, and it looks as though maybe part of it is like a dugout or something, but it is made of logs. I mean, it's made of wood. It should burn, but it's one of those huts that's like been in the woods for a long time and has sort of become a part of the woods.
Mossy and... Alright, cool.
I'm all good. So, what is there anything creepy inside this hut? Is there anything like massively like, oh god, she's gonna eat us and grind our bones?
It's rather homey. There's a warm earthiness to it as you enter. The fire is blazing in the hearth. There's the smell of fresh baked bread in the air. It's more like a rather large open room, and indeed part of it is a dugout because you can see a set of stairs. It's like a split level kind of thing, leading down further. It doesn't look like there's any rooms in here. It looks like it's just this big split level room.
You're the only one here.
Not exactly. And she
immediately puts Rat on edge.
I say Nora sort of steps forward and shifts her grip on her axe.
There's she whistles, and what you took to be like maybe a pile of furs or blankets or something shifts, and just the biggest like wolfhound you've seen kind of like lopes over lazily with its tongue lolling out of its mouth and walks over to sniff Nora and Rat. Just
Rat without kind of failed, like, can't help but stroke this dog, and there's even kind of a little lean-in cuddle as it walks by.
Yeah, it just sort of like lazily licks Rat's face because you're like right there. Its face is eye level with yours as it stands, and it gives Nora a sniff, sniffs your boots, sniffs your hands.
Nora
Butt
sort
sniff.
of tries to not look at it, but still holding the axe, reaches into her pocket, and one of those burnt biscuits she still has, just tries to subtly feed it to the dog behind her, and then goes back to holding the axe again, not taking her eyes off of this woman.
Yeah, there's the dog seems friendly enough, and she seems friendly enough, and goes about sort of puttering around the house. You can tell that there are pallets laid out for everyone here. Like, she's prepared a place for you to sleep as well. I do hope that everyone else changes their minds. The woods can get quite cold at night. But, Rat, I'm glad that you have decided to trust me.
I probably want to kill you more than anyone else here, but there's something. Listen, how do you see these things? You are a witch, aren't you?
I am a weaver of magic of sorts, not a witch. Not unsanctioned. I've sought my training with the Daughters of Raya and the Jade College as well. It is
You're sanctioned. You have paperwork.
I have no paperwork, but Rats, very few people out here have paperwork. Are you going to burn them all?
Until we get the right one.
It seems extreme. Accept my aid, and I can at least point you at your true enemy.
You say we're extreme. Are you saying the actions of the people we hunt are not extreme?
They are very
Are you saying
extreme.
People that took friends and family from all of us, using the spells that you study, are they not extreme?
They are extreme, and their machinations are tragic in what they will do to this valley. But Rat, the path that you walk ends in chaos. It ends in the ruinous powers claiming your soul. You must exercise restraint. Matthias as well. The people here must live their lives with the Breherd on their doorstep. And they must do what they must to keep it at bay. But that does not mean there are not traitors amongst us.
You must understand this. It's very difficult to tell one from another. People tell lies. They loathe us. I hear what they say behind our backs. But if we're to go away, surely that leads to chaos as well.
It will. It is fortunate that Attilia sent the missive to your master. And it is fortunate that you have arrived. I'm sorry that you've experienced such tragedy since coming here. This is a beautiful place, were it not for the foulness which corrupts the woods. And she looks like her countenance is one of genuine sorrow and sympathy for Rat, and she kind of just comes over and takes Rat's head in her hands, And she just plants a gentle kiss on Rat's forehead.
I just kind of, for a second, it blinks back to, do you remember when we saw the Celestial, where the kind of woman kissed him on the forehead then as well, and it kind of just takes a second. I'm guessing, like, being that close to magic again brought back the memory.
Yeah.
You understand that if he knows we're here, he'll kill you. And probably me as well for walking in this hut with you.
I'll be honest with you, Rat. I would be surprised if Matthias could kill me. A great many other things have tried that are more powerful than he is, and they have failed. But my magic is protective. My magic is nurturing. My magic is the warmth of a hearth, and a full stomach, and a soft bed. This is what I can offer you. Matthias doesn't scare me. I will die one day, whether by his hand or another. But I do not wish to see you all fall to the ruinous powers that you combat and fight against.
And by now you probably realise that it's not me you need to win over. I've no doubt that Idris is pacing around this hut, wondering how that she can burn it down without killing me and Nora at the same time. Alero's fingers are plucking at the bowstring, wondering how she can get the answers that she needs from you before you choke on your own blood. It's not me that you need to convince. I'm in your house. I stroked your dog. It's them you should talk to.
And he'll wander over to where she'd prepared for him to sit down. And he'll just, like, lovingly cuddle this dog as a familiar comfort blanket that he'd been longing for a few days.
Yeah, it's like 3 times as big as Rat. And he's just a big, shaggy dog.
It smells like dog. It's dirty. It's wet. It's what he needed.
She mutters something to you as you walk away. Rat, I think that you're wrong. I think that I did need to convince you. But you're also right. And she turns towards the rest of the group, including Idris and Alera, who are outside. I understand you have very little reason to trust me. And that you have all experienced enough since coming here that would make you wary of someone with answers. Someone who's willing to talk instead of spit at you or sneer or lie to you. What is it that I can do? What is it that I can say to help you see me for what I am? She's addressing the 3 of you. Ulrika is sat down and is eating and is just glad to be inside.
Nora stays quite silent. She's not sure it's almost like a shock she's in. She's not too sure how to handle the situation because she normally just walks in, deals with it, and then it's done. So the fact that this conversation has happened, it's thrown her.
I wish, Alera speaks from the doorway, I wish that I could just trust you. We have been walking in the dark, stumbling for answers, almost since we arrived. And to have someone be able to show us the way, I want that more than anything. But I also know what someone with powers like yours can do when they are bent towards an ill will. So how does one prove what you wish to prove? I ask you.
I think in a certain sense, a bit of trust is in order. And it is hard to give that trust. Perhaps a demonstration. Or ask your questions. What is it that you wish to know about your enemies? And I will do what I can to answer. If you need proof of the truthfulness of my words, then I will demonstrate it as best I can.
There are 3 that lead this prey herd. Khalifa, this other witch who can conceal themselves, and then some beast. What is this beast?
She sits back down. Beast calls itself the Earth Mother, after my own religion. A midwife that I tutored for a time gave birth to the Earth Mother. She refused to obey the traditions that have been in place to prevent children born with the touch of chaos from fulfilling their destiny. We have a wild magic surge for Nora.
Every time it's River.
Every time. The midwife died in birth shortly after. Refused the Talite right to determine whether or not the taint of the ruinous powers touched the poor creature's soul. She lingered, the Earth Mother that is, for a time at Altford. I'm sure you know of the camp by the stream. I do not know what happened to her there. Her movements became clouded to me. Sometime later, she emerged with the beastmen, who lair somewhere in these woods that not even I know where. She stylizes herself as a prophet, Vishernos. Uses the power that her mutation gives her, the symbolic power that it grants her amongst villagers to influence them and take control of the Bray herd. Looks like the wild magic surge was Caster's rumored to have participated in dreadful funerary rites. I'll let
She vomit a coffin.
I was going to say, I've already thrown up a coffin. Like, is that bad?
Yeah.
How else do you think they get built? Come on.
Yeah. Of course.
Dwarven
Or gets
tradition.
a bunch of wood and nails and then vomits a coffin
And
a week later.
something dead is going to come alive near me. It's all...
Right, yeah. She's a necromantic dwarf.
Prue, how
as for
is
the other
Alero stood in that doorway? Like,
yeah, is Alero still in the
what's
doorway?
the positioning?
She's just kind of like leaning like in the door frame, just leaning on the door frame itself.
Do I have a line of
Just-
sight on this woman?
Yes, there is a window that is open that you can see her in through, and the doorway that Alero's in is still open as well, unless Alero has shut it.
No.
Could Rat ask a question? He's got something.
Sure.
As Rat is asking the question, Yidris is pulling one of her throwing knives out, and she's going to try and throw it at this woman. She wants to
Okay.
see how she reacts.
Okay. I will need the two of us to make an initiative roll, have Rat...
That's fine.
I'm just
Please
wondering
go ahead,
whether
Rat.
what I've asked going to stop her in her tracks.
Yeah, I mean, you can say it.
happened?
She's...
What happened to Matthias? How did he fall?
Oh, you're trying to get this woman killed.
I got 45 for initiative.
I'm trying to remember where that is on my sheet. There it is. Got it.
It's your agility plus D10.
34.
All right.
41.
41. And Rat asks, how did Matthias fall?
Yeah, at the we Bow keep, won't we?
What happened to Matthias?
Oh, Ovalheim.
You're asking. Oh, wait,
Right, that's the one. Yes,
He's
okay,
asking the witch. Did you notice Yidris punched Matthias in the head?
I get what you mean. She sort of so a lot of things happen at once. She wins the initiative, Rat asks the question, and you see her as Idris's knife. Go ahead and make me a ballistics skill test for her.
Yep.
For Idris.
Nope.
Thanks.
Nice. And we have a wild magic surge for Alero as well.
Of course.
As the knife hurls end over end through the air and Rat asks this question, she disappears into the ground. I want to make sure something really catastrophic doesn't happen. Perhaps it does.
Oh,
and
fuck.
Yeah. She disappears into the ground and reappears next to Yidris, although this time she looks different. She doesn't look like dreadful or menacing, but she looks
The hag veil has been lifted.
something like that. She says, you struck him on the back after he suffered a grievous wound and refused to leave the battle. You decided that his safety was better than what he wanted, which was to die in glorious combat to the forces of chaos. Carry it with you like a burden that you should remove from yourself and come clean to him. And she just has this, like, she's not like in Yidris's face, but she is close to Yidris. Give me just a second while I look something up.
Rat kind of is in shock at that. He didn't expect that at all.
Rat and Nora notice that happens. Like, what you thought was like a floor is actually just packed dirt and earth. There are rugs and things around it, but there's no like floorboards or anything. You guys are standing on just like really packed in earth. And did we get a wild magic surge for Alero? Did we resolve that yet?
It's in the chat. Yeah.
Okay. That could be very handy. Once per week, caster can kill all small insects within 10 feet.
Bring on your swarms.
So for those of you who need to know what's happening, my caster cast a spell and rolled doubles, which means that Warhammer's own wild magic surge takes over, and we will figure out what happens there. So when she has reappeared in front of Yidris, her hair is like standing on end as if it is electrified. It's just sort of like all around her in this kind of like chestnut brown halo from her hair. She's made no move to attack Yidris, but she's sort of like, you can tell that she's like seeing into you in some way.
Mm-hmm. I care not for your words, witch. And I know my actions. I only care about yours. And Yidris is just going to hold her ground. She is willing to push this woman to see when this woman's willing to cross that line.
Okay.
Because if she's who she says she is, it should be really hard to make her cross that line.
She gives Yidris a look before her eyes like quickly dart into the forest. She'll come inside. And her sort of like pleasant and otherwise sort of inviting demeanor softens a bit, or hardens a bit, and looks to Alero. Both of you, it is not safe out here, and I cannot guarantee you will live to see tomorrow if you do not seek my protection.
Can you protect Nisa?
Nisa needs no protection from what pursues you.
That's what Alero actually figured. So she'll be like, and she'll step in just inside the hut.
All right, Alero steps in the hut. That just makes Yidris is the only one outside.
You just wants to look around. She wants to see what's in the darkness, if she can see anything.
So there are 3 fires around that are within range. It looks like 1 on each side of the hut, and just the way the shadows are playing, you figure there's probably a 4th one on the back side of it. It illuminates the surrounding forest quite well, and you can sort of see into it for maybe about 10-15 yards, as if it were, kind of, just regular light.
Right.
Appreciate the raid, guys.
Yeah, thanks for the raid.
That's in the
Thank you
woods.
for that sub, Squeegee.
Otherwise, you
Grab it up.
Yeah. What's that?
I want to use my crit because I think that just for speed, I think Idris needs convincing, and it's going to be quicker. She can see something in the woods.
Okay. So use your
She might
crit.
not see anything. So.
Yeah. What's your? How many degrees of success would that give you?
1 would
Yes,
give
if you
me
roll the
3. 3.
There is movement out there, a solitary figure. That at first, Yidris mistakes perhaps for Matthias following the group. Has the same gait, same stance, the same stature. There's no hat. There's no overcoat. And the shadowy figure that steps forward, you see the eyes first, and they are Matthias's eyes. That's Matthias's face. But the figure that steps out of the woods and into the firelight as Yidris stares it down is a different sort. It wears strange clothes. Voluminous robes that seem to hide the rest of its form beyond the head and shoulders. You can't see its hands or feet. It seems to glide through the woods. It is Matthias's face staring back at you. Yidris, what are you doing over there with that witch?
Matthias?
Come out here. Indeed me. Spent a long time in thought.
Is that
Can Nora
like,
step out at this point and be like, Idris, come here?
is that sort of insight or wisdom save equivalent? So I can see if Idris is gonna like twig this isn't Matthias quickly.
Does this Matthias have both eyes?
Yeah.
Well,
that's
just
bad.
a second. Yeah, those of you inside the hut haven't heard anything yet.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
The voice is soft enough that you can't hear. Although, yeah. And Ermelinda is sort of like in the doorway herself, trying to get Yidris to come with her. Yidris, you can make me I'm gonna let you say an intelligence, and because you know Matthias so well, I'm gonna make that a very easy task.
Yeah. Nope.
Oof. So that would be plus 30. That's still... It's a very convincing facsimile.
Yeah.
And while this Matthias has 2 eyes, there's something...
I mean, wild magic shit has been going on, so...
Right. Yidris, I cannot believe the lies of this witch. She seeks to turn you against me. Seeks to divide us in our purpose. Join me, Yidris. We must burn this witch. Any who seek shelter from her. And you can see somehow, you're not sure exactly, Matthias has produced a torch.
Okay.
And I need
Yidris
Yidris to make me a willpower roll.
See, now if she already thinks this is Matthias, then she is she would just take the torch. But yeah, I will do willpower all the same, but she will take the torch.
Right. That's a crit fail. I'm gonna make you use that crit fail you got.
That's fine.
Okay, yeah. You feel yourself being drawn towards Matthias, and I don't know. You feel like just compelled to join him. Real quick, everyone in the hut, make me perception. You can see that Ermelinda is in the doorway. Yidris, please join me inside. How's everybody else doing?
Is this perception sound-based?
Sound-based, yes. It is hearing.
Yeah, a bit of a bonus.
Oh, it's not sight? Okay.
Correct. It's difficult to see out. The inside of the cabin is very well lit. foiling your night vision.
Okay. I got a success.
I did not.
I got 3 degrees of success.
Alero and Rat can hear Matthias outside, calling for Yidris.
What is it? He followed us? And Alero will move to the door and try to peer out and push past the Irma Ginny or whatever her name is.
Ermelinda?
Ermelinda, yeah.
Irma?
Yeah, Rat will follow quickly behind.
Okay. You see outside Yidris, I don't know, where is Yidris at this point?
I think Yidris has definitely been closing that gap between them, and she wants to, like, her goal is, like, she'll take the torch, and she's still kind of questioning it, but not really, and she's thinking, this isn't really going to set fire to that house, but I will throw this at the house if that's what Matthias was asking me to do, so...
He's handing it out. Burn her out. Drive her from her power. Go ahead, Rat.
Matthias, is that you?
How did you find us, Matthias?
He addresses Rat. Matthias addresses Rat first. It's me, Rat. I'm sorry for what I did.
Rat is straight on his fucking pistol. There is no way Matthias has ever fucking apologized to anyone in his fucking life.
I was about to say, Alera pulls her bow up immediately. Like,
I love that. That's a fucking.
I need. Okay,
Nora
so let's go ahead and roll initiative.
Well
it seems like a lot of things
point.
are happening at once here. Let's go and get everybody's initiative real quick.
Oh, look, it's that sweet PvP again.
Oh, that sweet PvP. What would I do here? Ooh.
Damn,
Oh, Nora, so close.
Yeah, I got a 37 for
Same as
my
me.
initiative. Okay. Your agility is higher, so
57.
you go first. 57. Rat. Jeez, Rat always. And then let me see my other. That's plus 44, so 45. So it's going to be Rat, Alero, myself as Irma, and then it looks like, let me see, going to be, yeah, and then myself again, and then Yidris, and then Nora. So initiative is Rat, Alero, me twice for my 2, and then Yidris, then Nora. Rat. You see Yidris is taking the torch from Matthias about 15 yards away.
That's not Matthias. If I know anyone that is not Matthias, move away.
Is Yidris kind of blocking my shot at the moment? Would she be?
Yes, Yidris
Probably.
is blocking the shot. Yeah, and Yidris is pretty big.
She's 6'2" and built.
Armored and yeah, she's a warrior. She's blocking the shot.
Okay, so Rat is gonna kind of run in closer if he can, but can I hold an action that I'll shoot Matthias if I can, but if Yidris is gonna do something really, really stupid, I might need to like aim for a leg.
Oh, the leg again! I just fixed that thing.
All right. So you're holding your action to kind of see.
I'm hoping I'll get a good shot of Matthias first, or like.
Okay.
Yeah, Matthias.
Okay.
Fuck it, Matthias. But if it's gonna be harmful for everyone, including her, I might need to act.
Hearing
Perhaps
Rat
it's horrible
Kaiser's
to
free
say.
action reply.
Can what now?
Can I just free action reply to Rat?
Yeah, you reply in like a dreamlike sort of state. You do not sound like yourself.
Yeah, I would totally be accusing Rat of having his brain turned by the witch.
We have a boss
100%.
monster that's coming in.
The boss monster's here.
Yeah, I mean, we already did that.
Something else.
Oh boy.
So yeah, Yidris can reply in like a dreamlike state.
I guess that's going to be my turn.
Okay, Alero.
Alero obviously can't get a line on Matthias. If I move laterally, will I be able to free up a shot on him?
There's plenty of cover that he has. He's like deep out in the woods. But if you move laterally, you'll get some kind of shot on him. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do that, and as I'm moving, I'm just going to yell out to Yidris. Yidris, look again with your eyes. He has both eyes. It is not Matthias. It is his twin.
What twin? We've all changed out here, Alero. And she's just gonna carry on.
Mm-hmm.
I
don't know.
Yeah, she's got the torch. There
and
is
I'm gonna fire a shot at him.
Okay.
I'm gonna move laterally and then fire an arrow off.
Okay.
Any modifications to it, or just a straight roll?
The cover that he enjoys is going to make it a hard shot for you, so minus 20. So this is dense woods.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Boom!
All right.
Hit that shit. It's gonna be a 71.
Okay.
Body shot.
71.
Mm-hmm. Shall I roll damage?
Yeah, go ahead and roll damage.
So it's gonna be 7 damage, 1 armor piercing if it matters.
You see, your arrow streaks out and snaps, breaks upon whatever garment Matthias is wearing. It does not appear to have wounded him.
Look to that, Yidris. Matthias does not cloak himself in magics.
Yidris, Alero attacks me. She's been bewitched by that creature over there. We must burn her house out so that we can break the spell over Alero. And Alero, you're doing anything else? You moved and attacked?
That's it. That's all I got.
Okay. Ermelinda's turn. What is she gonna do? Goodness.
Alero might beseech Ermelinda to help with Yidris.
Yeah. You see her weave. She grasps the spiral in her hand. She's got her staff in the other, and you hear her just muttering a soft prayer of some kind, but nothing seems to happen. She does move outside from the doorway to stand in front of the fires where she's at. That's all that happened. I didn't pass my spell roll. There is a moment of tension in the air as Matthias is just piercing Yidris's gaze. And, he sort of like is bidding you burn it down, slay her. And there's a guttural sort of snort and somewhere near where Alero is. And as sort of out of the corner of your eye, you can see a double horn, like horns coming down around like the ears, and then like gazelle sort of coming up over it, and a great big long fanged snout. And it kind of like is stalking through the woods, maybe 10 yards away from Alero. And it's just like got piecemeal chain on and sort of a big axe, just like not as big as the Minotaur, but a beastagore beast man emerges from the woods, not too far from where Matthias is, but closest to Alero. I need, real quick. I need Rat to make me a willpower test as this guy, as Matthias still continues to weep. Rat, think of all the things that have happened to you here. You cannot give that up. You must give in. And Rat is tormented by hellish visions that invade his mind of every bad thing that just like every horrible thing that's happened to you in the last 2 weeks since you've gotten here, just like compounded and made worse. And Rat is going to be stunned for 1 round as these visions take over.
Yeah, I imagine like it's like the vision in my eye appears again in front of me, but it's all these wretched visions repaying where my eye used to be, so it kind of mixes in with my normal vision and destroys me for a round.
Okay, and then it's now Yidris's turn.
Well, my last instruction was to burn the house and kill the witch, so I want to use a half action to just throw this torch as hard as I can at the house. And then I'm gonna draw the sword. I guess would be another half action, right?
Correct. So go ahead and make me a ballistics test. This is a easy roll, so plus 20.
I didn't have good ballistic skills, sorry.
That's all right. It's a big target. It's literally a barn.
Okay, that would succeed, right?
It was.
So
the torch arcs.
10? Okay.
Yeah, and as it arcs, it flares into life. Valero can make me an intelligence check. It flares into life as it lands inside the hut, and like that starts catching fire to things. It's not unlike the way the Ungor's bows caught, or their arrows caught fire during the attack. How far up does Yidris move?
If I spend a fortune point for the day, I can do a charge, right? Because I can use half action to move, half action to attack.
Yes.
I would like to do that, please.
All right. Who are you attacking? Moving to attack the
witch.
Witch.
Well, that's how Yidris sees her, so... Yeah, Melinda.
You move up, and you get within 5 yards of her, and something stops you. You find you cannot move forward, and you are about even with where the campfires are outside of her house. That's where we got. Nora, it's your turn.
So is there any way Nora can tackle Yidris, just full blown try and tackle her to the floor?
Yes, you can.
Is that just a plain strength roll, or?
Let's go ahead with opposed strength right now. I don't know the exact rules for wrestling, like most games. I have no idea. But let's just go with opposed strength right now.
Oh dear.
Oof.
We both fail.
Yeah,
we both fail.
Just
yeah.
went.
I failed slightly less than you.
Yeah, let's say that what happens is that Yidris sort of is stopped by this thing rather surprisingly as Nora's kind of rushing forward to tackle and grab her and everything. And Yidris is sort of stopping short a little early, throws Nora off guard. And so you're right there up on her. You guys are like trying to get a good grapple on her. But you know, this thing that's stopped Yidris has made that difficult. And so here we are in the dark woods as night falls. And you have found yourself in the home of the Ryan priestess, Melinda. Something has come out of the woods to attack you. And we will find out next week exactly what happens here in the woods beneath these dark boughs. All right.
I hate you.
Yeah, I know. But we do have to stop playing real life calls, and presumably we have real life that needs to be attended to.
No. Really?
It's real to me, damn it!
Right?
This life out here is the work of a witch. It's not real.
Oh, that was a tense one. Tense ending there. Yeah, all right, there we go. So, gosh, what is Gareth? We'll start with you and just work reverse. What's going on with Rat? How are you?
Jesus, this session, it's been a genuine roller coaster. So Rat is he started on his kind of John Wick phase, losing his dog, questing for blood. Finally, he actually managed to find a witch, find a route to the witch, and finding the witch is apparently the last fucking thing we wanted to do. It's amazing. It's amazingly tense. Like, this witch has oddly kind of reconnected Rat with his self a little bit, and maybe realized that we need a lot more information because we're just burning people in the dark and it's not lighting our way. And it's incredible. And like, when Matthias joins this, it's gonna get even fucking more messy. Rat's accidentally found Yidris's secret, which is gonna be even more messy. And Rat's got a dog coming, which is gonna be fucking awesome. And that is terrifying. I've no idea what that is, but that's not going to be good either, no doubt. But thank you very much, everyone. Like, playing with these guys is fucking amazing. Go and follow everything they do because they are all very special people.
That was that's a magic weapon donated from Pigeon. Pigeon, real quick. Who is the one who gets the weapon? Yeah, you can just post that in chat real quick. There's so much going on. Secrets being revealed. Now everybody knows what their business is. Alice, you looked like it was a little tense.
Yeah, like, so Nora was even quieter than she normally is, but purely out of shock from, why aren't we killing this woman? Normally we just walk in, kill it, and leave. But otherwise everything, I think, is completely thrown her. But really, really good session. I loved it. It was tense all the way through. The music really helps with that. I really, really like the music in this. But yeah, I'm White Rabbit Pick, and you can find me on Twitter, and I'm still recoiling from this. So yeah, great session. I can't wait till next week. Thank you.
And Charlie.
I had so much fun, and I've just seen Will pop into our Discord, and I'm so excited and also scared. Next week, I just imagine like real Matthias running through the woods. His spidey senses have been going bananas for like the last 2 hours. Thank you so much for the game, guys. Thank you for putting up with mine and Yidris's shenanigans. Thanks to chat for providing us with extra shenanigans. I'm so glad that Rat has a puppy on the way. Will Alero actually survive this combat without any damage? That is my big question. It's about time she got a bruise on that elven face of hers. But yes, I'm so excited. Thank you so much for the game as always, guys. I can't wait for Wednesday. Come find me on the Twitters. I play in games all the time, all over the place. And I will post up when I'm going live and stuff.
Excellent. Pruitt.
Oh my god. This is some shit, man. This is some real shit we're getting into now. Like, I love it whenever you get to the point where you're like, I really want to trust this person, but are they just lying to me? And they say everything that's absolutely perfect, right? And then they just set the stage, and you're like, and right when you're like, all right, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, it's you're doing a fantastic job as always.
Blurred lines, man. Blurred lines.
Yeah. A hell of a lot better than Robin Thicke's blurred lines. And so I can't wait till next week. Like always, going to be talking about this shit in the Discord all week. I know we will. Will is going to be very disappointed in us that we did not start
watch it like everybody else.
Yeah, that we did not start a weenie roast immediately when we rolled up on this chick. So anyway, I can't wait. I'm Pruitt, the other half of WebDM. I got a game on Tuesday at 6 to 9, and we got shit every day of the week almost with WebDM. If there's anything you liked, you should clip it out of this show and send it over to RPGN. We'll get it on Sunday's show. So
definitely watch that show. It's the best thing I've seen in ages.
we do.
Apart from this, obviously.
We do try to have fun. So yeah, all your highlights and clips and crits, bring them on over. We'll make dick jokes about them. And so until next week, I can't wait. I can't fucking wait.
Yes, it's going to be a long week, and there's never enough game time in the day. Ladies and gentlemen, I am, of course, Jim Davis, filling in as guest host and dungeon master here on Encounter Roleplay. You can find me on WebDM on Wednesdays, our YouTube channel. Like Pruitt said, we are on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We've got our own homebrew D&D games that we're running, and then we're just all online and shit. So find me if you want to chat D&D or Warhammer or whatever. Really appreciate you guys coming out here and hanging out with us while we play, and look forward to Will being back next week and seeing how we can untangle this mess. So until then, we'll see you guys later, and whatever the sign off that you're supposed to give, I just gave it.
Yeah, Nat One's laughing something.
Yes, there's laughter and all this stuff.